What's up guys? In today's video we are going to cover out if you need to train the planche and the front lever at the same day, or you should rather train them separately on separate days throughout the week. So for example, to train push and pull on separate days, because many of you told me that you're, for example, hearing some people are doing at the same day and others are rather in splitting the workouts into two. So let's get into it. We are going to cover out when you should do it, if you should do it, and how you should do it. So we are going to cover out also like a very common mistakes that most people are falling for and doing when they're just starting to combine planche and front lever together. So I myself got a very decent level in planche, very decent level in front lever, so I can do 7 presses in full planche, the one arm planche. In an front lever, I can do the one arm front lever. I can do some pretty decent pull-ups, touches, everything, you just name it. So I'm going to show you how I got to my level and what you should do yourself to be better athlete in front lever and planche at the same time, because that's very important. I'm guessing most of you don't want to be just like the best in planche. You also care about the front lever, and that's completely fine if you like more skill, like one skill more than the other. But I know you want to be a complete athlete, so let's get into it. So let's talk about when you should do each method. So before you are even getting to the full planche, to the full front lever, don't even think about doing them together. Don't think about like combining planche and front lever at the same day. That's not really going to benefit you. So you need to put more emphasis, more focus on these skills separately. So before you have like a good solid full progression, no need to combine them. So let's say your current level is straddle, planche for example, and and full front lever. Let's take it for example. In this case, you don't want to train them simultaneously, like you're not going to benefit from it because you're just going to fatigue yourself instead of working on raw strength, on building strength that will allow you to go for higher intensity and even for better volume. You're just basically wasting your time, wasting your energy, and you're focusing on way too many things at the same time at one training session. So it's not really going to benefit for you. So for someone who wants to work with just push and pull split, basically doing front lever one day and then planche the other day, I would recommend you to train 4, 5, maybe 6 days a week. Mostly 4 to 5. That's going to be like the normal amount, like the decent amount that will allow you to make some progress and also recover at the same time. So you're going to split it into different days. That's where you're most likely, obviously it depends on the person, but most likely you're going to benefit the most from this one. Because let's say you are training planche and front at the same time, at the same day, every single training session that you do. So what, you're going to train 4 times a week, let's say, but you're training 4 times a week, so it's going to be 4 times planche and front, planche and front. But in the case I told you, you're just doing 2 times to 3 times planche and front. So the difference is, even though you are doing more times in the combining method, in the doing planche and front at the same day, you are doing it for more times a day, but you are not really gaining like a weekly volume, a weekly emphasis, focus that will allow you to make some good noticeable progress in the planche, in the front lever. You're just wasting your time and telling yourself, yeah, I'm hitting these movement patterns, these skills for 4 times a week. Why am I not making progress? That's exactly the reason. Even though I'm doing here probably less in this method where I'm separating them, I'm actually able to put everything I have on the table and make some gains out of these skills. One, because I'm putting the focus on making me go for higher intensity, on getting to the next progression, into getting a better movement pattern and getting better trajectory. So this one is going to help you better for this phase of training. So when you should go for actually combining the planche and the front lever at the same day. So let's go for it. So when you have a solid full planche, solid full front lever, and you got every movement pattern possible, basically doing the planche push-up, the planche press, the planche hold, maybe even wide planche, and the same applies for front lever. So you have like front lever pull-up, touch, hold, presses, let's say wide as well. That's the time when you can actually think about it. That's the time when you can think about it, because you are going to build here volume, you're going to build here endurance, and this is going to help you with it, because what you are going to do is you're going to combine planche and front lever, and before that you don't even need to think about it. Like if you can do the full planche but no longer can do like the other movement patterns as I told you, wait a little bit, first be able to do them, and only after that come back here and do this method that I'm about to show you. So basically what we are trying to do is, when we are combining planche and front lever at the same day, is you are able to gain more volume. So for example, if I can do just 5 planche presses, let's say, so 5 presses, when I'm combining planche and front lever at the same set, I'm able to do more than 5 presses in a single set. Because why? I'm doing planche, for example, and I'm doing front, and then I'm coming back to planche in the same set. So it's one set. So I've done like 3 presses, let's say I've done 4 presses, sorry, and then I'm resting for planche because I'm doing front lever, and then I'm coming back for planche again. So now I will be able to do three presses, for example, 2 presses, for example, because I've rested a little bit. Even if it's not a big deal, even if you're still putting effort in the front lever, once you will get used to it, it will feel like you are resting for planche actually. And that applies the opposite way for front lever as well. So that's the reason behind it. Another reason behind it is also it builds endurance. It builds like a good solid base for competitions. That's what you want to do in competitions. If competitions is your priority, that's something you should want to do. And even if you don't really want to compete, but you want to be a top athlete, it still can help you at that timing. So the most common mistake that I see people are usually doing is basically doing one set of planche, resting, doing one set of front lever, resting, doing one set of planche, front lever, planche, front. You get it. You get it. So this is a mistake that many people are doing, and you are burning your CNS out. There are way better methods to do it. So when you're going for one planche set, then front lever, and coming back and doing it again and again and again, the same problem happens as I said before. You're not putting enough focus and energy for each skills, and you are actually not really resting, because even though you are resting between planche and planche because you had like front lever in the middle, you were not really resting because your muscle did rest, but your CNS was still active, and working when you've done the front lever set. So you didn't really rest, even though you felt like you were resting for the planche muscles. So this method is the biggest mistake that I see so many people are doing, and they are thinking, yeah, I want to balance the planche, I want to balance the front lever. So that's probably the best way to do it, because I'm doing one set of each other. Instead, what you want to do is very simple. You want to go for planche sets, so it's going to be a planche workout. And after you've finished the planche sets, everything you wanted to do, then when you go for front lever, and then you're doing front lever separately at the same day, at the same workout. But you first have to finish with one skill, and then you're going for the other. So that's one way of doing it. And in the next workouts, you can do the actual opposite, starting with front lever and then going for the planche. So this is the first method. The second method, I've already talked about it very little here in this video. And as you guessed it, it's doing one set that is a combination of front lever and planches. But before I'm going to talk about it, what I wanted to say is, even if you are working on planche and front lever the same day, you have to combine also days that are separate. You cannot train every single day planche and front lever simultaneously. You have to separate it also. So it's very important to have days where you just do planche, days where you just do front levers. And yeah. So the higher level that you have, the better you are, the more likely it's possible for you to combine planche and front lever in more days of the week in one training session. So think about it like this. If you're no longer like in a level where you can do very high intensity, very high volume, high endurance, a lot of movement patterns, you are not there yet to train it every single day or even close to it. So right now, think about not doing them together at all. It depends on the level. So if you don't have yet the movement patterns that I talked about earlier, don't do them together. And if you do have them, think about once a week, twice a week. More than that, you don't need it. You can do planche and front lever separately on different days of the week. So when we are talking about like combining planche and front lever at the same set, it's going to be to build you endurance for the actual movements. So as I said, you're going to go for planche and then straight after into front lever. And after you've built strength like this, you see that your body can adapt to it. After a few training sessions, you can go for longer combinations, and you don't really want to push yourself till complete failure on the first exercise, because then you will not really have strength or energy for the next one. So it's okay if you're pushing yourself hard on the first one, but leave some energy for the next ones. It's okay if you're reaching failure in this kind of sets, but not really on the first exercise, on the first thing that you do, because you're basically not going to be able to do the full set that you prepared in your mind. So after you've built some basic strength in like very short combinations, you can go for harder ones. So for example, planche, and it's going to be plus planche again, for example. So it's going to be like different movement patterns, and then front lever, and then planche again. So this kind of combo is way longer, way harder, way more fatiguing to your body. And as you can tell, I actually focused more in this specific combo on the planche, even though I was doing them both. So it doesn't have to be like 50-50 in front lever and planches. You can go sometimes for 70-30, 70 planche, 30 front lever, or 70 front lever, 30 planche. So combine them, see for yourself like what you want to work on, and balance it out throughout the week. It doesn't have to be like balancing out on a single session. So it's okay if one session I'm doing more planches than front levers. But throughout the week, balance it. Throughout the month, you have to make sure that you are balancing it. Because as I mentioned, and I'm sure you want it too, you want to be a complete athlete. You don't just care about the planche, you care about the front lever as well, and the other way around. So combine planche, combine front lever, and work yourself up from very simple combination to longer ones. So planche, planche, front lever, planche again, and you can name it, you can think about it, you can do whatever you want, use your imagination and go for it. And if you liked today's video and you got some value out of it on how and if you should train planche and front lever simultaneously on the same day, I'm doing also one-on-one coaching, and I'm going to help you to understand what you should do exactly in your training session. I'm going to guide you to faster and safer progress for you to reach the higher levels, the skills that you want to do, whatever, if it's the planche or the front lever, I'm going to help you with them both, because you can actually make some very good and decent progress simultaneously on both of them. So you don't have to prioritize just one or the other. So I'm leaving a link down below. You can book a call with me. So we are going to hop on a phone call to see if I can help you. Or just DM me the word skills on Instagram. So see you in the next video. Bye.